You are watching Mr. Rob's Virtual Classroom.
Welcome aboard, folks. We have made it to day 55 of our distance learning adventure. Today is June 2nd, the year 2020. That's 6/2/20. And today we have a very special segment of the virtual classroom. I have invited our cameraman, our producer, our show engineer, my son Ernie, to be a part of today's special presentation of In Focus. This is where we take a deeper dive into learning. And today's topic is Let's Talk About Kindergarten with Ernie. So here's the deal. Much like you, Ernie has had experiences at Kaleidoscope. He used to be a Kaleidoscope student at Harley Hopkins.
And a stepping stone.
And then he spent his pre-K year at Stepping Stones. And now, Ernie, where do you go to school?
I go to Glen Lake.
Glen Lake Elementary School. So Ernie has had a lot of experience in our school system already, and I thought he'd be the perfect person to interview about kindergarten. I know sometimes when we think about kindergarten, there's a lot of feelings that come up. So today, Ernie's going to answer some of the big questions you might be having about the next part of your learning adventure. So without further ado, I have a list of questions to ask you today. Are you feeling ready? First off, I should thank you. Thank you for being able to do this with us. And make sure you speak loudly so the camera can hear you.
Okay.
So, I want to take a step backward in your life. And I want you to think about when you were just getting done with Miss Kareen's class over at Stepping Stones. How did it feel to graduate from pre-K?
Feel a little, it feels a little great because, I have graduated from a grade.
Mm-hmm.
But I also was feeling a little nervous because I was going into a new, totally different school. I had, first of all, no notice about it, nothing. I didn't even know anything really about it.
Okay.
So, I was prepped. So, I was nervous. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's talk more about that. What do you remember about? Let's think about your first day of or actually your first time at Glen Lake. What did you remember about going to Glen Lake for the very first time?
I was surprised. I have thought every school had a, upper level. It does have upper levels,
Okay.
But it didn't look like it did. So that I was sort of surprised about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Luckily, Ernie had a chance to go to the Kindergarten Bridge event that's always held at the child's school. This year, you guys have to do it virtually, so I sent out the link to that, and during Resource of the Day, I have another tidbit about that. Is it okay to feel nervous about going to kindergarten?
Totally. You can't. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah.
It's okay to have those feelings, isn't it? Because it's a big leap in your life.
Yes.
Let's see. How many times do you think you visited Glen Lake before the first day of school? I know this was a bit of a debate around the breakfast table this morning.
Maybe 2 or 3.
2 or 3, okay.
Yeah.
We were trying to think back. And it's really important to visit your child's school. And you can still visit the school. You can go out in the parking lot, in the playground. It's important for them to get a sense of place. Where are they going? That really helps. Would you say that helps cure some of your nervous energy around the transition?
But I'm just going to tell you something. Maybe don't do it this Friday because there's a special thing at the school.
Yes, do it over the summer,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And go several times, right?
Yes.
Check it out. Okay.
They have a really nice playground.
At Glen Lake?
Yes, a really nice one.
Wonderful.
Also, maybe you should only should let your kids on the upper if you're letting your kids get to go to Glen Lake, because they only let their kindergartners go on the upper for the beginning.
The upper playground?
For kindergarten, but in first grade they can go though.
Okay.
But if they just want to get a sense, yeah, it's fine.
I have some really important questions to ask you. What was the first day of kindergarten like?
I I was nervous.
Were all the kids there or just the kindergartners?
All of them.
Okay. Because I seem to remember that on the first day of school, it was just the kindergartners at school. But maybe I could be wrong about that.
I think you might be right.
Okay. And
No.
I think that's the way Hopkins does that. So it's kind of a practice day before all the big kids come back. So
Yeah, I was nervous. You know, the teachers were teaching us about it, and yeah.
was your teacher nice?
Yes.
Good.
But she moved out, so yeah.
Yeah, she's moved on to a different school
Yep.
district, I heard. Yeah.
Yep.
Was it so hard to make new friends at Glen Lake?
No, it's simple.
It was simple?
Yep.
Okay.
Simple. You just walk to someone and say, "What's your name?"
Okay.
And then they'll ask your name, and then you can tell them your name, and you can ask, "Can we be friends?"
Ah,
And then you can play with each other at recess, and yeah.
that does sound quite simple.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're mentioning different parts of the day. Can you kind of walk us through a typical day in kindergarten, like what you do and the order of things?
So maybe it's not now, but when I was in that class, what we started off with was piece was beginning of the day. We were waiting for everyone to come in,
Okay.
so we put attendance in,
Okay.
and then you came to your table. You have assigned tables with some of your friends.
Okay.
And you do math worksheet.
Did they have different activity periods throughout the morning?
But if you were going to gym right away, which sometimes happens, or
Oh.
music,
Okay.
they put out books.
Wonderful. And there's other things like Spanish too, I understand?
Yes, yeah.
Did you get 20 minutes of Spanish
Yes.
a week?
No, I got 3. So what we did was I got an hour of Spanish a week. So
Okay.
I went to Spanish class 3 times a week.
Okay.
I went to gym class 2 times a week and music 2 times a week.
That's a lot for the kids to look forward to. That's a good variety.
And
Is there lunch at school too?
yeah,
There's a lunch program. So do you eat lunch in your classroom or do you eat lunch at the cafeteria?
cafeteria.
Oh, okay. That must be a very busy place.
Yeah, it is. When you get in there, the janitor will tell you about where you throw the things.
Different trash system. That's a lot to learn.
Yeah, the janitor will tell you about that.
How about play though? Do you kids get to have any time to play at kindergarten?
40 minutes of recess.
40 minutes! Wow. And when it's rainy and snowy, does that happen inside or outside?
Depends on the weather.
Okay. So
But your teacher will probably have a plan if it's inside.
okay. Gosh, I have so many great questions. I feel like I need to kind of rip through some of these. What was your favorite part of kindergarten?
Maybe it was probably probably how you meet the friends.
Meeting the friends.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Yeah, you definitely made a lot of new friends. And continued making new friends in first grade, too. What would you say you learned in kindergarten?
Well, it's sort of the beginner. At the end, I learned about maps.
Okay.
On the end, I learned a lot of math. Sometimes, one of the head teachers comes and teaches you about kindness.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, this is a harder question. What was the most difficult part of kindergarten?
Probably getting into it. Getting to a new school. You're getting
Adjusting to the new school.
Elementary, which is hard
Yeah.
to adjust, yeah.
I remember you came home so tired at the end of the day.
Yes.
You were using a lot of energy at school. So there really was a time of adjustment. But after a couple months, you seem to get used to it pretty well. Uh, if you could do anything over again about kindergarten, what would you change?
Oh, that's a hard decision. Maybe nothing. It was actually a pretty...
You wouldn't change a thing?
Yeah.
That's marvelous. Wow.
It was good.
All right, I have one more question for you, okay? If you were giving advice to a future kindergartner, what would you tell them?
Don't be scared I have two.
Okay.
Don't be scared and meet new friends.
Okay. I'm going to give you a round of applause, Ernie. That was a wonderful, wonderful interview. Thank you so much for helping the friends understand the next part. And I think when you do some thinking about it, you do some feeling about it, you get yourself ready. So, good job. Thank you. So, that was a wonderful piece of insight into the life of a kindergartner. And, my advice to you is to talk about kindergarten, but don't go over the top with it all summer. Allow your child to have a really wonderful summer. Let them ask their questions, but sometimes we think, we can over-prepare children, and that might cause some anxiety and tension. So, yeah, that'll be that about that. Since we have limited time. Oh no, I lost my eye. You're going to have to imagine there is an eye that said kindergarten skills. I've been losing everything on this
Like
deck.
a word scramble.
Yeah, it's a word scramble. So kindergarten skills. I told you about the very important kindergarten bridge that's happening online this year, and it'll answer all your questions about enrolling in kindergarten and the stuff you need to get in, the stuff you need to do. But one important thing I wanted to add was a piece about kindergarten skills, because oftentimes families ask me, Mr. Rob, what does it mean to be kindergarten ready? This is a very concise listing, and I'm going to link this so you can see it. It's a concise listing of social skills, emotional skills, academic skills, and it really gives you some real clear concept. And look, we still have a whole summertime going, so there is more time to be ready if you feel like your child is deficient in any one area or more areas. And if those moving on from my Section B class, if you want to have another discussion with me about how I feel your child is ready, please reach out to me. I can make the time to make that happen. Let me take a peek at the clock. We're in our last 2 minutes, and I think it's very, very important to remind you at this point of the save the date. The Harley Parade is tomorrow, and I'm going to be linking a wonderful picture that Miss Addie created of the map that you can follow as you parade by Harley Hopkins Family Center tomorrow. It's 10:30 to 11:30, anytime in that window. And I have to remind all the families, please stay in your car. We're going to be socially distancing, and we're not supposed to pass things back and forth. But I think there's going to be a table at the end of the parade route where you can drop something off if you need to. And I will put some medallions out there for those families and we'll see if we can exchange some of those. And I could save some postage. And then finally, with our last minute of our virtual classroom today, I'd just like to remind you of what's going on this week. So we did our Dalian Day yesterday, and today was our In Focus Kindergarten segment. Tomorrow, I will be at the parade, and I will be filming it. I'm going to put together a montage of fun moments from the parade. So that's going to be a different virtual classroom. I can't wait to see that.
Yeah.
Can't wait to learn how to produce it, too. That'll be an adventure. I'm still learning on this journey. Thursday, we have 15 things Mr. Rob hopes you might consider doing this summer. And finally, the story of your year on Friday. Well, I want to thank my camera person. Ernie, can you come say bye-bye?
Sure.
And I want to thank my lovely camera person, my wife, Eileen.
Bye, kids.
You've been watching the virtual classroom. Thank you and have a wonderful day.